everybody. It's me, Jackie Arment. I'm here with another craft video. I was thinking out my next video was going to be more towards prepping for Halloween, but I realized a lot of the times I don't do that until closer to like when it gets warmer. So I thought I would do another little one in between. So today we're gonna make some little like witch potion bottles. I make a lot of these for my Etsy shop. It started just making it was a collection of my own that I made for my own Halloween decorations. But there have been a lot that I've wanted to make and I just haven't sat down and done it. So this is kind of an excuse to do that. So we're gonna make 3 different ones. We're gonna make a Volts from Eels one, a Werewolf's Milk, and a Love Potion. I do already have the Love Potion on my shop, but I'm gonna redo it. I found this little heart one that I really like, so I kind of want to redo it. Occasionally I will do that. Redo my bottles if I don't like the way it looks anymore. And then the Werewolf Milk I also made for my shop, but the Volts from Eels is a new one that I have not made yet. So that will be an experiment and we'll see how it goes. Okay, so first we're gonna start with the easiest one. We're gonna do the Werewolf Milk because that's the easiest. So what you're gonna need for that project is you're gonna need one of these Starbucks Frappuccino bottles. I find these look very like a milk bottle, so it works really well. You're gonna need some like Goo Gone or something like that to get the label off. It's very sticky under there, so you're gonna need some paint, some white, and some like light yellow. I've had this for like a really long time, but anything like a pastel yellow or something like that will work. And then some like jute twine from a craft store, and then some Mod Podge. I like using the gloss for this. Oh, and then you'll need some floral tape, some brown floral tape, which you can find pretty much at any craft store. And then a label, which this is our Werewolf's Milk label that we're gonna use. This you can find at my Etsy shop. I'll put a link to it. You can, all of these labels that I'm using, you can buy at my Etsy shop. You can either buy them digitally, like the file to print out yourself to whatever size you want, or I also offer them as already printed that I'll send to you, and they're sticky on the back. I prefer to put them on with Mod Podge. I think it looks more like, gives it more old look to the bottle, which is kind of what I'm going for, but you can do whatever you want. But I'll put the link to my shop in the description so you can get these labels if you want. Okay, so first what we're gonna do to get started is we're gonna take off the label here. Most of the time you can just peel this off, and then we're gonna use some Goo Gone to get the sticky part off of it. So now I've gotten all of the label off of my bottle. I even like kind of went and rinsed it a little bit because some of that Goo Gone is kind of greasy. So I did that. So the next step is we're going to fill this with water. And we're going to fill it about where you would like to fill it, wherever it is you want to fill it. I kind of like to fill it a little here. I don't want to fill it all the way. I like having it be kind of just partially filled. So I got some water. Let's see if I can pour this carefully. Okay, that's about where I like it. And so then now what we're gonna do, and this is just a personal preference of mine that I like to do, and I'll show why in a minute. I will pour the water once we got exactly the amount of water we want. I'm gonna pour it in a separate cup, at least as far as it'll go here. And hi Lydia, you gonna help? Huh? You gonna help, little kitty? And then now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our paint, and I'm gonna take the white first, and we're just gonna squirt a little bit in the water. No kitty. And then we're gonna stir it here till it's all combined. No kitty. No. Come here. All right. Somebody's curious. Come here.
Away!
All right.
Away, beast!
Okay. All right. So now we've got that mixed up. Now, this is what I like to do. I like to add just the tiniest bit of the yellow. Like I said, I'm just like a pastel yellow, not like a really bright yellow. And because if you've ever really looked at milk before, it's not pure white. And I don't know, I just feel like Werewolf milk, if it was like not pasteurized or something, that it would not be completely white, and it just kind of makes it look a little more gross, I guess. So I just put like the tiniest little squirt of the yellow in there to kind of make it look a little more realistic. Just the tiniest bit. And stir that up. And it's probably really hard to see on the camera, really. But it is changing into more of an off-white than a real white. And it looks, yeah, it's kind of hard to tell on this camera because of the lighting in here, but just trust me. It does look it looks a little more realistic if you do it that way. You can do it any way you want, really, but that's just the way that I do it. Okay, so and the reason I put this in a cup, in a separate cup, is because the paint really likes to fall to the bottom, and it'll leave like a clump of paint at the bottom, and I don't ever really want that in here. So that way when we pour this in here, it's gonna leave that paint down at the bottom here, and it won't be in here as much. And that's just a preference, because I used to mix it in the bottle and it would leave that like film of paint down here at the bottom, and that just always bugged me. But again, personal preference, so you don't have to do it this way if you don't want. But I also feel like this way you can kind of mix the paint and get the desired color you want, and if you mess it up, you can just like do it over in here, and like you don't have to like worry about pouring it out of this bottle over and over and over again. So okay, so now that we've got this, we're gonna pour this back in here, and let's see if I can do this without making a mess. Yeah, see how there's like this residual paint? Now we're not going to get that in here. It's going to stay at the bottom of this, and we can throw that away. Okay, so now that we've got that done, now we're gonna put the lid back on. Okay, and here comes the decorating. So, what we're gonna do is we're gonna use this floral tape and also some of the Mod Podge, and we're going to basically cover this. I usually cover the top, and then I do maybe like a little bit around the edge here, just a little ways down. And we're gonna do that next is what we're gonna do. And we don't really have to seal this lid, it's pretty sealed. If you're really worried about it, you could like hot glue it. But you know, this is pretty sealed, like it's not gonna drip everywhere. So that's what we're gonna do next. That's the next step. Let me get okay. And I know the floral tape is sticky, but this Mod Podge just really helps it stay on there better, because I mean this is just not really that sticky and it's not going to stay by itself. So that's the main reason why I use the Mod Podge. So as you can kind of see, I just kind of like layered it until I got the top covered, and then I did like 2 layers of that. I went this way and then the other way, and then I just worked and wrapped around the bottle. Now this can get kind of frustrating. I don't know if you noticed while I was doing it, like sometimes it starts popping up and everything, and it just takes some finicky, you know, finessing or whatever. But now we're gonna cover this whole thing with Mod Podge so it won't be like popping up like that, and it'll just look, it'll stay put. Okay, so we've coated in Mod Podge, as you can see, and if you've never worked with this stuff before, don't worry, it dries clear. So we're gonna kind of like let that dry, and while we're letting that dry, we're just gonna go ahead and put our label on. And I'm just gonna paint the back of it with Mod Podge and then stick it where I think it should go. And then I'm gonna go back over the label with more Mod Podge over the top. Now when I stick this on, if you can see there's like, I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, you can right there. There's like the sell-by date on this bottle. I like to put it on the other side so that this is like on the back and you can't see it. don't really worry about too much is if it gets a little bit of wrinkles up here in the top. To me, that just makes it look a little more like old and authentic, so I don't worry about it. If you're really too worried about it, you can try and get a label that like fits it perfectly so that it doesn't do that, but in my opinion, it doesn't bother me because I think it just makes it look that much more like old and weathered and stuff, so. Now we gotta let this dry, but while we're letting that dry, we're gonna, this is pretty much dried already. Mod Podge doesn't take that long to dry if you don't put a whole really thick layer on. So the next we're going to use some of this jute twine, and we're just gonna tie it around here. I just tie it maybe like once or twice around and then tie like a little knot. That's what we're gonna do next. Can see that, and sometimes I like to like I'll just kind of pull this apart and kind of make it frayed a little. I think that just kind of gives it a little extra something. There. Okay. And then other than letting that label dry a little bit, we are done. That's how easy this is, this one. There you got your werewolf's milk. Okay, and then there you go. Okay, now for the next one, we're gonna do the love potion next. So what you're gonna need is the bottle that you want. I'm using this heart-shaped one I got at Hobby Lobby. You'll need some kind of tool. I'm using this like white, it's kind of glittery. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, kind of, you can see. It's a little bit glittery. I picked this kind. You can pick whatever kind you want. You'll need some dish soap, some clear, or if you can find it in like a pink color, that'd be cool, but I couldn't, so I got this clear and we're just gonna color it with some food coloring. You'll need some more of the jute twine again, and some fake rose petals that I got also at Hobby Lobby. So normally the first thing we would do with this bottle is, I don't know if you can tell, but this bottle is kind of tinted pink a little bit. It's kind of hard to see on this camera. I already did this before the video. I didn't realize that I'd already done it, and then when I found the bottle that I was willing to use, I remembered that I'd already colored it. The technique of coloring this is using Mod Podge and water and food coloring. I will show you how to do that with the next bottle, the Volts from Eels. We'll do that with it, just with a different color. So you'll get to see the technique of doing that. I just already did this one, so you don't get to see it on this one, but you'll get to see it on the next one. So that would normally be the first step, but since we already did that, the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna pour a little bit of the dish soap in here, and then we're going to color it with some food coloring just to get like a light like pinkish or a pinkish color in there. That's what we're gonna do next. Now, like, one reason I'm using dish soap instead of water, because I know we used water in the last one. You could use water, and I've used water in the past with this, but the thing is that the rose petals will float just to they'll just stay at the bottom if you use water. So I'm using some dish soap because it's a little bit thicker, and I'm hoping that will mean that these will stay suspended a little bit better. They're not going to stay completely suspended, but I'm hoping that they will stay a little bit more suspended. So that's why we're using dish soap instead of water, if you were wondering. And again, I'm not going to fill it up all the way to the top, because I like having, like, it kind of look like it's being used, you know, a little bit. So I've got it not filled all the way to the top. Okay. I'm just going to start with a drop of red food coloring first. See if it can fit. Yeah. I like that. And it's kind of like bubbly, which I think is kind of cool. That'll probably settle, I'm sure, but it's kind of neat. I actually kind of like it. Okay, so now we're gonna put our rose petals in there. And we can kind of use the spoon to kind of like push it down in a little. That's kind of how it looks. If you can see, kind of looks cooler from this side. Yeah, there we go. It's got the rose petals in there, kind of hanging out, and it is pretty suspended in there. It's staying like that. We'll see how long that lasts, but it looks a lot better than when I'd done it before, where it just kind of all sank to the bottom. So it could also have to do with the bottle, because I used a different one last time too. Okay, so now we're gonna cork this. And I might hot glue this later, but for now I'm just gonna leave it. If you feel like you are worried about it, you can hot glue it. This is just gonna sit on a shelf, but I might hot glue this later after the video, but anyway. Okay, next actually we're going to put the label on. So I have this label, which again you can get at my Etsy shop, and we're gonna put it right on the front with the Mod Podge like we did before. As you can see, I kind of like, you know, you can see how like some of it is folding over down here at the bottom and then has folded at the top a little, but I like that. You could print it out and make it smaller if you wanted to, but I like it, so I'm letting it be. Also, I should probably mention too that if you're going to be doing this same technique where you're putting the Mod Podge over the top of the label, it's best to use a laser printer, because then the ink won't smear. If you're using an inkjet, it will probably smear. So you're probably more likely wanting to print it on like some kind of sticker paper. But if you're doing this technique, use a laser printer and it won't smear. Okay. Okay, we've got this covered on the bottle, so now we're gonna let that dry. And while we let that dry, what we're gonna do next is we're gonna take some of our tulle and we're gonna cut a little square, and I'm gonna put it over the top, and then I'm gonna use some of the jute twine to tie it around the neck of the bottle, just to look cute. So I actually ended up cutting out like kind of 2 squares, and I'm kind of like layering them like this because I think that might look cooler. I'm just kind of okay. And I just kind of like finessed with it a little and kind of cut it to make it just kind of like look the way I want, but I think that's really cute. Okay, so now that one's done. Let that finish drying. Okay, now the next bottle we're gonna do is we're gonna do the vaults from Eels now. So what you're gonna need for that is you're gonna need a bottle. I got this one at Hobby Lobby. I thought it looked really cool, so this is the one I got. You're gonna need, of course, some more Mod Podge. You're gonna need some food coloring. I use red and yellow. You're gonna need like a plastic cup, some water, and like a plastic spoon, like I've got over here. You're gonna need a label, which this is also available at my Etsy shop, so you can get it there. And some more jute twine again, and then a few things that I bought on Amazon, which I'll put links to in the description of my shop. One are these light up coasters, and you can see they're sticky on the bottom. They come in like a pack. They're not really that expensive or anything, and they have like, whew, it's bright. They have like different settings. There's like a slower blink, and then there's like an on, and we're gonna use the fast blink one is what we're gonna do, and we're gonna end up sticking it to the bottom of this bottle. That's how one of the ways we're gonna make this look kind of electric. And then the other is these, it's a cork with like fairy lights inside, and they turn on just by twisting right here. They turn on and off, and then they like charge with a USB, which is actually really cool because then you don't have to worry about them like running out of battery and having to like replace the battery. You can just like recharge it. And then those come in like a pack too on Amazon, and I'll link that stuff. It's really not that expensive, but this is how we're gonna kind of achieve that, like the lightning bolts inside the bottle. Okay, so the first step we're gonna do is we're gonna paint the outside of this. So basically this is one of the ways that I get my bottles looking kind of like old, is I'll like coat them with this Mod Podge. Also we're going to sand this with some sandpaper, so I'm actually going to do that first. So you'll need some sandpaper. I forgot about that. So I'm going to sand this with some sandpaper, and then we're going to coat this with a Mod Podge water solution, and I'll show you how to do that. I'll sand this like off camera, and then we'll do that really quick. Okay, so I don't know if you can see on the camera, but yeah, you can see it kind of. I sanded it with some sandpaper, and it's kind of like roughed up the bottle and made it look a little like more milky. It's not so clear, and that's kind of what we want. And I also I want this bottle to look kind of old, you know, like it's been sitting there for a while. So that's what I did first. So now the next thing we're gonna do is I'm gonna take some Mod Podge and put it in this cup. And I'm gonna just do 1 spoonful of Mod Podge and 1 spoonful of water, and we're gonna put it in here and stir it up, and then we're gonna add some food coloring, and that's what we're gonna do next to paint the outside of this bottle. Now we're gonna do just 1 squirt of red, and I usually do 2 squirts of yellow, and that gives me like a good, you know, orangey, like amber color that will paint this bottle, and it'll start making it look old and not new. Okay, so see how we've got like this like orange color? It'll be easier to see when we've like we painted on here. It looks really milky right now, but like I said, Mod Podge, it will dry clear, so, so it won't be so milky. But this is about the color that I usually like to get. It's like a peach, you know, I like it to be a little more yellow than red. So now we're gonna use our little sponge, and we're just gonna paint the outside of this bottle. Don't worry if it's a little bit streaky, it'll be fine. It will dry and you won't really notice those streaks. Okay, that's what we're gonna do next. Okay, I don't know if it's hard for you to see, but there's like kind of some like bubbles and stuff on this, and it's fine. If you're doing this at home and you're worried about it, it's fine. It'll dry and you won't see all of that. And even if you do, the imperfections really make this look even more old. So anyway, but also I have this drying on some wax paper because this will drip down, and this is glue. So if you have it on anything like paper towels, it's gonna stick to the paper towel, and then when you pull it up, the paper towel is gonna get stuck to it. I've had that happen before, so I found the best thing to do is like wax paper or something like that it won't stick to. Okay, so now we're gonna let this dry. It doesn't really take that long to dry. You can also, if you're really in a hurry, put this in the oven at like the lowest of the low temperature, and it will dry faster that way. I've done that before, but I mean, I just kind of let it dry on its own. doesn't take that long really. So we're gonna let this dry, and then we're gonna continue doing the rest of it, which will probably be the next day, because there's some things that I want to do that require outside, and like some spray painting that we're gonna do to this bottle. And it is nighttime right now where when I'm making this video, and also today was really, really cold, so it was not gonna dry. So tomorrow's gonna be like not as cold here in Alabama, so we'll finish the rest of this bottle tomorrow when it's dry. So I will see you tomorrow to finish the rest of this bottle. Okay, till then. Hi everybody, it's day 2. We're gonna finish our Volts from Eels bottle. If you can see, it is dry. It's a little, you can tell a little bit on the camera now, it doesn't look so new. It looks a little dirty after we colored it with the Mod Podge and water. It's really subtle, but that's what I like about it. If you were to hold this up to like another bottle that was clean, you would be able to tell that this one definitely looks old, and that's the point. You don't want it to look too obvious, but okay. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and put the label on it, and we're gonna put the cork in, and then we're gonna do a little bit of like some more like embellishments around, tying it around with the jute twine. Is what we're gonna do next. So okay, here we go. No. Okay. Alright. There we go. And we're gonna let this dry, and while it's drying, we're gonna go ahead and do the embellishments on the top and everything. So, you'll want to take one of your little corks that have the fairy lights in it, and we're gonna stick this down in here. Actually, I'm gonna go get, let me get something. You might kind of want something like, I'm using a chopstick, but like a skewer or something like that to kind of stick the little lights down in. Makes it a little bit easier. These get tangled very easily. It's the only thing I don't like about it. Okay, there. Okay. Oh, there we go. And I'm just gonna stick that in. I'm gonna kind of look at it and decide, you know, push some of these lights down a little bit. There we go. Okay. Alright. There we go. And now we're gonna put some jute twine around the neck here. And I'm just gonna wrap it around the whole thing because I think I kind of want to be able to hide white part of the cork because it's kind of ugly looking. So I'm gonna use this to kind of do that. Lydia, no, go on. Cut that out. Cut it out. No. Okay, I'm just gonna tie it here. Stop. I'm telling you guys, today Lydia has been a real nuisance. Some days your cats are sweet and want to snuggle, and other days, not so much. She has been a little pill today. Say. But I still love her. Thankfully, she is still young, so she will get older and calm down. Okay. Okay, so that's kind of how I did the top. I just kind of wrapped it around. Okay, now, this is kind of dry already here. Okay, now, next we're going to get one of the coasters that we bought on Amazon, and it's like the back just has a on-off that you just push however many times to get the setting you want. But we're gonna go ahead and stick it on the bottom, and this just so happens to fit like perfectly over the bottom of this bottle. Like, I was really surprised. That was totally not on purpose. I mean, you could probably buy these and take them to the craft store and make sure that it fits. But man, I got really lucky that fit like perfect. I was so excited. So I'm gonna peel that off and then I'm gonna stick it on the bottom. It doesn't really have to be perfect, I guess, perfectly aligned or anything, because nobody's gonna see this. It's on the bottom, so. Okay, stuck on now. And as I was playing with the settings last night, well, no, it's not turning on. Weird. Strange. Guess I should have tested it, but this was the one I was using. Why is it not working? Maybe I need to use a different one. Maybe I've messed with this one so much that the batteries are dead. No. Weird. Okay. Maybe I stuck it on there too hard. Maybe I should have been a little more gentle with it. Okay, we'll just leave it on and I'll stick it. So I was able to get it off in case you know, you're worried about it not coming off. I was able to get it off, but it was kind of hard. So at least we know that it can come off pretty easily. Okay, and as like I was saying, what I was saying before was that when I was finessing with it yesterday, I kind of decided that I really liked actually the slower blink better. It doesn't like quite give you a seizure as much, because staring at it for a while I was like, oh man, that's really not ideal. But and I got a little wobbles kind of a little bit, but it looks pretty cool. It looks very like electric. Now you could probably just you know, there might be times I just leave it on like this too, just like that. But I think it gives it a little more than the little fairy lights do. The fairy lights are cute, but I feel like this gives a little more mad scientist vibe, if that makes any sense. Okay, but we're not done yet. So the next thing I'm gonna do with this is I'm gonna take it outside and I'm just gonna spray paint it a little bit with some black spray paint. I kind of want to give that look of it's like been singed by like the electricity. Like if somehow you were able to, I guess, put the electricity in here, the bottle would get singed a little. So we're gonna do that like a little around the neck probably, and some of the body maybe around here, just a few little places to kind of give it that like burned look. And then also that'll kind of hide a little more around here, like that the cork and everything. So that's what we're gonna do next, and I'll see you outside. Okay, we're outside on my balcony, and I'm gonna spray paint the bottle now, just with some black paint. Okay, now we're gonna let this dry. Poor little kitties can't come help.
Aww.
Huh? Oh no, can't help mommy. we're done. We finished them all. I think they look really great. Like I said, I've made this one before, the werewolf milk. I've done it a bunch of times all over. But I think the way that my new love potion turned out was really cute. The other way was fine. I'll maybe show y'all a picture of that later, but I really like the way the petals really stay in, like, kind of up in the water. They're not like just falling to the bottom. And then, of course, this one turned out so cool. I don't know if you can tell, you know, you can kind of see the black on it kind of looks singed. I didn't want to do too much, but just enough to kind of give it like a, you know, that just like a mad scientist to let, like, it got burned a little bit. And I think it turned out really cool. I really like the way it came out. Some of it got on the cork too, but I think that was a happy accident. That was awesome. So, yeah, I think this is really cool. These turned out really neat. I hope everybody enjoyed watching the video. I hope this inspires you to make some of your own, like a little witch's cabinet like I've got. That was kind of the start of my Etsy shop and everything, was just making my own stuff, and then people, you know, kind of wanting to purchase it on their own. So, like I said, I'll leave links in the description of the video for my Etsy shop, so you can buy these labels. They're really cheap. And then, or, you know, you can always make your own. That's the best thing about it. I will also, what else? I mean, I guess that's it. The cat. I'm going to kill her today. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it was fun to watch. Hopefully it starts getting warmer here soon and we can start working on projects for Halloween party. That's what I'm really hoping, because I really want to start working on stuff like that. Or costume, you know, related videos might be also. Yeah, that's it. Thanks for sticking around if you watched the whole thing. And I guess I'll see you guys in the next video. So, stay spooky out there, guys. Till next time.